Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 Range Rover Sport. This is the SV Edition 2. Huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This Range Rover is originally finished off in gloss black, but it does feature a matte black wrap, and they have a starting MSRP at just over $180,000. Now this is powered by the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 626 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. It's all-wheel drive, weighs in around 5,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds with a top speed of 180 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 23.8 gallons, and you'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 22 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 118 inches. Its overall length is 196. It has a width of 80.6, a height of 71, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.3 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this model also features a lot of carbon fiber. Let's start off with the full carbon fiber hood, where you'll notice there is some exposed carbon fiber within this matte black wrap to give it a really nice design. You'll notice too, it's on the grille surround where there's plenty of cutouts to provide cooling up top. There's a Land Rover badge, of course, and then the nice integration with all of the LEDs for the dark housing. So they wrap around that front bodywork very nicely, where there's also washers located just underneath that. And then you'll notice more carbon fiber accents with the inlets on both sides. It's in the lower section too, where there's the SV Edition 2 badge on that right side. And then again, plenty of cutouts. There's also a forward camera and all of the parking sensors too. Just gives it a really nice luxury and a sporty front end. Now this Edition 2 also comes with a set of 23-inch wheels, finished off in gloss black, and then there's the massive dark red calipers there. You'll notice more carbon fiber for this trim accent just behind the tire. And then there's gloss black for the lower side skirt there. It's also on the power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and a turn signal. And you'll notice too, for this model, they have left gloss black for the A-pillar as well as the window trim. And then the roof is wrapped in a matte black, where there's also a full moon roof too. Now this model also has the door handles that pop out, so as you can tell, you could walk up to the vehicle and enter it. When you lock it or you put it into drive, they will be flush with the bodywork, which is a nice look. And then as you can tell, really nice lines that flow down the side, and then leading to the back where there's the spoiler with the integrated third brake light. There's a wiper blade up top. Range Rover is right in the middle of the LEDs there. There's also a backup camera, all of the parking sensors, and then a quad tip dual exhaust with carbon fiber for the surround on those exhaust tips. And then you'll notice gloss black for the lower bumper there. Now you can use the button on the key fob or the control underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where this does have the power operating liftgate. Now you'll notice there's a decent amount of space in the back. You'll notice there's a 12 volt, there's also a net there, there's the cover up top and a strap on this left side, along with a hook, so you can place some bags or any items that you may have. And then underneath the floor, looks like we can open this up slightly, and we have a divider. Now in my BMW X5, I have something similar to this, where you can put in your grocery bags, so that way they don't slide around in the back seat. I think this is a really cool option to have. It is going to be very functional for those items. And then this also has the all-weather floor mat, and you'll notice too, you can raise and lower this vehicle. It does have the adaptive suspension, so if you are loading in those items and it is a little bit too high for you, you can lower the rear end of this vehicle, and you can also use these controls for the second row. So you can fold those down if you need additional interior cargo space. And then you have one button up top to close that liftgate. Now you can go up to any door handle and push on that button and unlock and lock this vehicle. Now for the interior, this does have the manual sunshades and then a really nice design with all of these materials. You'll notice more carbon fiber on the back side. There's even seat adjustments, window controls, lock and unlock, some storage down below, and then there's the release handle nicely integrated into that trim accent there, and then the grab handle up top. This also has the Meridian audio sound system. And then as we work our way to the interior, really nice two-tone design for the seats with all of the leather. And you'll notice too, more carbon fiber for the backing of these front seats with that small cutout there. Now right in the middle, there's more carbon fiber with the air vents, and then you have a lot of controls for your backseat passengers. You have where you'd like the air to go along with fan speed, and these controls are multifunctional. So if I pull on it towards myself, you can actually adjust the fan speed. So you'll notice that changing there. If I push on it downwards, now you have the temperature, and then if you push on it again, you have the heated and ventilated seats. So really nice to be able to go through all of that. There's also some auxiliaries down below. Now at my height, I have about 2 inches or so of headroom between the Alcantara headliner, where there's also a vent. You have a hookup here. You could place some items maybe. There's also a grab handle as well. And then right in the middle, you can fold down this armrest where you can open up the rear of it. You get a little bit of storage, and then the front of it has cup holders there, which is nice to see. And then you have a good bit of visibility with the cargo windows in the back. It's helpful to see around that pillar there. Now, as we work our way up front, you'll notice memory seating adjustments, all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, and then some storage in the lower section. Addition 2 is also down on the door sill. And then you have that same design for these front seats with SV, which is an illuminating logo there within that carbon fiber trim accent. Now, as we work our way to the steering wheel, this does have soft close doors, which is nice. But this gets a great two-tone design to it with the black and gray. But let's fire this up and take a listen to that V8. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster, you have a lot that you can go through using controls on this left side of the steering wheel. So currently you'll notice voice commands. There's also this safety control, so you can pull that up for the driver assistance. But you'll notice too, right now there's your phone, you have scrolling arrows along with that favorites arrow up top. But if I push in the center there, now we have all of these arrows to go up, down, left, and right. So on this left side of the steering wheel, you can go through all of this information here, just depending on how you want to view this and go through. So you have vehicle settings that you can monitor. You can get into the head-up display. There's even a display layout. So right now we're on focused. You can change it to map, so that way you can bring that up in full screen. And then if we go back into the display layout, there's also dial. So you have a little bit more of a traditional style with your miles per hour and your tach, along with a little bit of information. And you'll notice now we have that info right in the middle. And you can also adjust what you'd like to see on the left side and the right side. So you can pull up favorites basically for all of that information. Now on this left side, you'll notice there's the liftgate release. You have really nice trim accents along with leather for the dash and the head-up display, along with vents in the middle. And then with the infotainment system, you have a good bit to go through. So on the home screen here, you can swipe through all this information, just depending on what you would like to see and get into. You'll notice the wade sensing you can turn on. So if you happen to take this through a creek, you can monitor that. There's also a center and a rear locker that you can adjust. There's the compass too. You have slope assistance. And then you can also get into the dynamic controls here, where you can look at your lap times. You can get into a stopwatch as well. And then you also have some dynamics here that you can go into and configure. So you have quite a lot that you can get into. Now on this left side, all of this has a haptic feedback. So you actually have to push and click on it, and you will hear it when you click on it there. Now you have a lot more you can go through: Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you have your seats. There's even the climate adjustments. You can get into more seats here where you have this unique haptic feedback through the seats, which is interesting to see. You can also get into your wellness here. So you can turn on your active seat features, which is pretty interesting. I'm assuming that's pretty cool. It's like I'm in a movie theater right now with the seat actually vibrating like it is a massager. So that is some neat technology for this luxury focused vehicle. Now you have your music, you can get into navigation, you have different modes that you can get into as well. So you can go through all this information along with your ride height. So you have an off-road setting to raise the entire vehicle, active exhaust to turn that on and off, brake hold, and then you even have an SV mode that you can get into. And that will also change the gauge cluster. So now you have a really sporty design to look at if you are doing some performance driving, where this also has paddle shifters that are illuminating red at the moment, which is neat to see. You have a few other driving modes there. You can easily exit out of that and then even get into all of the climates. So now you can get into the heated and ventilated seats and your temperature. And as you'll notice, it doesn't pop up for the passenger. You do have to click on the passenger side, and now you have those options available. You'll notice too that we have a few defrosters too, and then a shortcut to the camera system there. Now underneath that, there's wireless charging. You'll notice there's also the start button, and then to put this into reverse, simply just push it forwards, where you have a lot of angles that you can go through. So you'll notice on this left side, You can just click on all these depictions here and see around the vehicle. You can also just click on these arrows here and it will pinpoint around all of those. Now there's also drive and sport mode, and then you have park located behind that. Now down below, you'll notice 2 cup holders where you can actually open this up and you have a hidden compartment there where you can hide it with your drinks, or close this where you'll notice addition 2 on that trim accent. Even a fridge as well, and there's 2 different settings that you can go through for that. There's also some storage down below, and this has 2 glove boxes. So you'll notice the arrows here. If I push on the left one, that will open up the lower glove box, and if I push on the upper one, this glove box will open up where there's also an auxiliary back there. So you have plenty of storage for your passengers. There's also the digital rear view mirror where you have garage door buttons on one side and then controls on that other side. And then up top, there's sunshade and sunroof controls. And then here's a look at visibility where you can easily see over both shoulders. So you have a lot of glass, but you have a lot of visibility as well. As we set up behind the wheel now for this Range Rover, this is definitely a sweet SUV to take a look at. If you are looking for an ultra luxury focused SUV, but you also want performance, this is a great option to go with. So with it in SV mode from 2nd gear, here we go. With a slight acceleration, that exhaust definitely sounds good. You can tone it down if you would like, but if you're buying this, I hope you're driving it to hear those pops coming from that exhaust. This is a very comfortable SUV as well, as you would expect. It also has that adaptive suspension. So if you were looking again for that ultra luxury ride, you're going to get that in the suspension. You're also going to get it with how insulated this model is. It is super quiet. You're not going to hear any road noise or wind noise. This is exactly what you want from a Range Rover. It's also going to handle pretty well. This is a heavy SUV, but with it in the SV mode, the suspension is going to tighten up slightly just to handle the weight of this SUV a little bit more. This is not a cornering type of vehicle, but you could still have some sporty fun with this, even for the design of this. It's not, you know, a race car, but we have a lot of straight line performance with some of those handling characteristics. And you just have so many ways that you can drive this with the seating that I showed earlier, with that funky massaging design. You can just go on a long cruise and be very comfortable behind the wheel. This is also super practical for your backseat passengers as well as any cargo space, so it's a good size SUV if you want something like this. It rides pretty high up here, which is nice, and you have a lot of visibility, so it's very easy to see in all directions. And then with it in 2nd gear again, here we go. It also has all-wheel steering too, which is super helpful. And the shifts are very smooth too, very responsive as well. And it sounds super good. And we're still in the SV mode, 2nd gear, here we go. And mild acceleration, we're up to speed here. And again, paddles are very responsive. It's neat that they light up red, which is cool for sport mode there. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for this Range Rover. Very nice seating position. I really like the armrest design here, as well as the one just below the window there, or the windowsill. And then as far as headroom goes, at 5'10", I have 2 or 3 inches. And then we do have the height adjustment for the seat. So you just have to get used to them being on the door here, where you could be much taller than me and still fit very comfortably. It sounds good. And I like that it offers the all-wheel steering. Maneuvering this in the parking lot has been very, very easy. You have to get used to the back end kind of kicking out. So with the steering wheel locked all of the way here, look at how tight we can do this. This is a very, very maneuverable vehicle, especially in parking lot situations, and then just to have all of that performance is very nice. So if you are looking for ultra luxury, ultra performance, can't go wrong with a Range Rover like this. So once again, huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I'll see you all in the next video.